Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna be making a sub box today. I'm just kind of get right into it, I suppose. I'm a big stereo person, like sound systems in my cars and whatnot. If I get a vehicle, usually I put a subwoofer in. So, long story short, I don't have a subwoofer in my truck anymore, and I was very gracious. I was given a subwoofer for free. It's not bad. It's a Alpine bass, as you'll kind of see right here, and it's a little 10-inch woofer. Nothing crazy. It's not a real high peaked wattage sub or anything. It is a 4-ohm sub. So we need to make a box for it and get it put into the truck. Now, those who aren't real big into subwoofers or stereos, don't really know the technical stuff behind what's going on with it. The woofer sits into a box, obviously, and as your woofer compresses in and out, it creates a sound wave that then goes back, hits the back of a box, and then launches it forward. And that's typical. That's like very short reasoning on how a subwoofer kind of works. Is it projects a sound wave from one direction to go through the whole deal. So if you had a subwoofer just in the air like this one and you had it hooked up and going, you're gonna hear sound waves, but the sound waves are going to escape everywhere because there's nothing for the sound wave to bounce back and forth off of. So that's why we put them in an enclosure. There's two different types of enclosures that you can do, is a sealed enclosure or a ported enclosure, which is what we'll be making here today. Ported enclosure, I personally just feel like is a little better for the woofer. Both are the same, it just kind of depends on styling or factory specs. So speaking of factory specs, on the woofer itself, on the back is usually the serial number and whatnot, I suppose. It gives you the model number of the woofer. On this one, there's actually a little barcode here that tells you the serial number of the woofer, so you can look it up, find your specifications on it. Then you got to build a box. So here on the computer is a website that it's called the Box Calculator. Just throw her into Google, go to a link here, and it's updated a lot. I never was able to see this 3D side of making the box, so that's pretty cool. You can kind of see what it'll look like when you're done. I'll be going with a ported box. You enter all your dimensions in here on the right side, and it gives you the calculations that you need. So you will need your specs for the woofer in order to plug them into here, unless you know what you need or what you would want. So for this woofer, we're gonna be tuning to 32 Hertz as factory or the factory specs recommend. And we also want the internal volume of the box to be 1.5 cubic feet or cubic feet. So we have all the dimensions then that the computer has given us for the box calculator. Just need to cut them out and put them together, and I'll show you my process upon doing that as well. So first things first, this is horrible lighting, but you need to get some MDF, is what everybody runs for woofers, MDF wood. It's just smashed up wood packed together into a sheet, basically. Makes really good sound deadening or sound board material. It keeps sound waves in pretty good. So this is what I'm using, is just some plywood, basically. It's kind of an MDF. It'll work for what I need. I'm not trying to get too fancy, and it's what I got laying around. So we're gonna use it, get it purposeful. So let's go get some tools. We're gonna need a tape measure. We're gonna need something to mark it with. I like using like a T-square almost. This is one of my drawing squares. It hooks onto the edge of a flat, and then you're able to get your straight edge off of that. So then I'm also going to be using a jigsaw. So we'll get all those tools ready, get everything marked out, cut out, put together and go from there. So cue B-roll. This tripod is garbage, but we're gonna make it work. So we got all the wood cut down there in a pile. We're gonna start putting things together. So let's start with the bottom. We'll get the sides together, and on the blueprint, we won't be able to put the back on until last, obviously without the top. So that way we can get the port board in there first. So let's get the bottom, the sides, and go from there. Outside must be messing with the camera, but all right guys, so there we are. We now have it. I mean, everything looks pretty dang good. Only one thing left to do, that's get it in the truck and see how she sounds. So not expecting anything too crazy, but if it sounds good, then I'm happy. So let's get it in the truck. Alright, she's in. It's a lot bigger than expected, but it'll sound good. It sounds good, you know? Alright, so let's see how she sounds. Hook up my phone. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but she sounds pretty damn healthy. So that's, I think I'll call it there for the video today. I'm gonna go get this adjusted and have some fun, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Blake, bro. This is 90.91. Have a good day.